Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Talking Movies. I'm your host, Korean.
I'm Xerox.
Slicer. So if you're a guy between the ages of 17 and 24 and you're attractive, hit me up.
Great intro. Really good intro. And well, we're just here talking movies because we got nothing else to do. Yeah. If anyone's watching, welcome to the show. This is an idea I had with my friend Slicer here, and then Ziax decided to come in and join the party. And why not? We always have room for more people. And for the next hour or so, we're gonna talk about movie news. We're gonna discuss movies we've seen and anything we're looking forward to. All right, let's get cracking then. So I really wanted to open up this discussion with a movie I saw over the weekend, Hacksaw Ridge. Now I know you guys haven't seen this one yet, right?
Nope.
Slicer, you haven't seen this one, right?
I've seen the trailer for it.
That's good enough for me. Okay, so for those unfamiliar, this is a World War II movie directed by Mel Gibson. Some might say Mel Gibson is back, baby.
Okay. Bold claim. I like it.
But yeah, this is a World War II movie starring Andrew Garfield, and he plays man, I can't. This is bad. I can't remember the actual person he plays as, but maybe I'll remember it later. But he plays as this fella in Virginia, right? And he joins the war effort, but he volunteers as a conscientious objector, as in so basically he's a citizen, or and doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to hold a rifle. He doesn't want to take a life. And so at first everybody's like, oh my god, he's not gonna do anything. He's gonna be useless. But I don't know if this is going to spoilers or not because this is a technically historical movie. I don't know. Do you guys care if I say anything about this movie?
I don't care.
Nah, man, go for it.
Oh, but okay. Well, it's fascinating. So he and his troops, he and his platoon, I guess, goes to Okinawa. So they're in the Pacific Theater, which is I think a cool decision as well. Pacific Theater isn't explored as much as the European theater.
And it's the core theater.
Yeah, it's definitely a much more brutal theater for sure. Like the stories I've heard of the Pacific, it's crazy. But so they're in the Battle of Okinawa. Well, I don't think it's the official Battle of Okinawa, but they're on Okinawa, and they have to take this ridge, right? And once they take the ridge, basically the island is theirs. But it is a slaughter. Like every time they go up, they might take the ridge temporarily, but then the Japanese just come right back and push them right off, and it's just a mess. But so Andrew Garfield's character and the rest of his squad, they come to replace the war-weary troops that have been trying to take this ridge, and they go over the ridge, and the battle scene is intense. Like I haven't seen. First of all, I haven't seen war depicted that graphically since the D-Day landings on Saving Private Ryan. Like if those who are sensitive to gore may want to avoid this movie, but it is
Listen,
crazy.
if you are sensitive to gore and your first thought is, I'm going to go see a movie about war, you need to rethink your decisions in life.
But that's very true. This is it was definitely a very harrowing scene, very intense, very it balls out insane, if I might say. But they managed to take the ridge, and they hold it for like a night before a swarm of Japanese soldiers push them right off and like annihilate them. But okay, so they all retreat. They go back off the ridge, and they're like, "Fuck, we're screwed." And they're like, "Oh, but we've lost so many men. They're all on the ridge, except for Garfield. Garfield doesn't go back. Well, I keep calling him Garfield because I can't remember the actual guy's name. He stays on top of the ridge while everybody else retreated because he hears the cries of wounded men. So he spends like the entire night and the rest of the next day going back and forth through enemy territory, just dragging wounded men off the ridge, and by escaping Japanese fire, escaping all these enemy troops that are patrolling the ridge. It's insane. At the end, it says that in the not post credits, after the movie's over, it said that he had rescued over 70 men off that ridge by himself. Like,
Damn.
I know,
Is
right?
that historically accurate?
Yes, it is historically
that
part?
accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually fairly historical.
That's insane.
After the war, he was the first ever conscientious objector to receive the Medal of Honor from the U.S. government.
Incidentally, Korean also got an A on this page. He wrote it back in his freshman year of high school.
Yes. Yes. That is,
So-
yes. I mean, like this movie, I thought was brilliant in its depiction of war. Mel Gibson really had he wasn't gentle with it at all. He really showed the brutality of the conflict. He really showed what these men went through, especially in the Pacific theater, which is completely different than the European theater. And I highly, highly recommend anyone who is interested in the war genre, interested in this time period, and to go watch this movie. It is fantastic. Also,
Yeah, Mel Gibson really does it all out when he makes a gory movie, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I also have to mention that Andrew Garfield is fantastic in this movie, as well as pretty much the entire cast. Oh, surprised! I don't know if you guys know this. Vince Vaughn is in this movie.
Really?
What?
Yes, he plays the drill sergeant, and then also I think he's their commanding officer. No, I think there's one above him, but he plays okay. So there's a part in the movie where he goes off to the boot camp to get trained, and Vince Vaughn is their drill sergeant. He
Oh,
is
wow.
surprisingly really fucking good. Like the performances in this movie are all rocks are really good. Hugo Weaving plays Andrew Garfield's character's father, who is a damaged war veteran from the Great War. He portrays that beautifully. He's an abusive husband, an abusive father, an alcoholic, and a drunk. Well, that's the same thing.
That's what we call a triple threat.
But you can really tell that he was a damaged man, broken by the war beforehand. And when he hears the news about his sons, so Andrew Garfield's character also has a brother, who there's a very powerful scene where his brother comes into the dinner table in his uniform, and he shares the news that he had drafted. He had not drafted. He had volunteered and enlisted into the army, and like you can see him just break down. It's fabulous performance by Hugo Weaving.
This Korean enjoys watching people break down.
I do. I love watching people cry. Like I have sick satisfaction out of that.
That's why whenever he gets his grades back from his courses, he always goes up to a mirror so he can watch himself cry.
Oof. He also really likes seeing Japanese people killed.
Also true. In fact, I think his ultimate fantasy would be seeing a Japanese person.
Please don't make me sound like a racist on the internet.
We're just
You're
kidding.
doing yourself.
Korean only hates black people.
All right, so I give this movie a big thumbs up. I recommend anyone go see it. It is a fantastic portrayal of the time period, and it also has a very powerful message about sticking to your beliefs. There is religion is heavy on this because this is based on a guy who believes in his Christian moral beliefs, but it's never shoving down your throat. It's never ham-fisted. It's very subtle, and it's very well done. I applaud Mel Gibson and his renaissance.
For those of you who don't know, the grading scale goes thumbs up, medium thumbs up, big thumbs up, and then 2 big thumbs up.
That is accurate. All right, enough about Hacksaw Ridge. I think I've talked enough about that. I want to talk about something I'm very excited about, tentatively excited about, because I know, like many people, I know very little about this movie. But Scorsese's not recent, but upcoming film, Silence, released its first trailer yesterday? Either yesterday or 2 days ago, I can't remember. And it is interesting. For those who don't know, Silence is a Martin Scorsese film, obviously, and it follows the story of 2 Portuguese Jesuit priests who go to Japan to find their mentor, and they're going during a period of time in Japan known as Kakure Krishitan, or hidden Christians, where practicing Christianity was made illegal. So this is, I will say though, this is very interesting in the fact that seems like an extreme departure from what Scorsese generally makes for movies, if you guys know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, like all these other movies.
I mean, like if we compare it to something like Goodfellas or more recently Wolf of Wall Street, I always pictured Scorsese as like exploring the underbelly of human society, the greed, the corruption, and also following the, generally speaking, following the rise and downfall of the successful people who take advantage of society, or those who are brought down by society. But this is completely different, a wild departure. Um, but I'm definitely looking forward to it because from what I've heard and read so far, this has been in production since 1990, and it is by what I've read, quote unquote, a passion project of Scorsese's, something
Yeah.
that he's been wanting to work on for a very long time. You guys have seen the trailers, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it compared to his other movies, it is something that I think he can pull off well because it was like a very unique culture, and he's very good at representing like cultures. I think, in a way, like in The Wolf of Wall Street, like the company had like a culture going around it.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, definitely. I have no doubts that Scorsese is gonna make this a very good film. And the time period itself is very interesting. I will say, I've never heard of Kakura Krishitan. I think it's the Edo period in Japan. Oh, man.
Um,
Yeah.
you talk like when you talk about Japan in at least in my school when we were doing world history, like this would be pretty much the only time we talk about Japan would be like the feudal period, and then this period would be like right before the isolationist period. Like this would be the beginning of the isolationist period where they ban Christian missionaries.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I remember this part where I remember talking about the isolation of Japan. Definitely, this is around that time period. The cast is also very interesting for this movie. Andrew Garfield showing up again. We also have Andrew Driver playing as the other Jesuit priest, and their mentor is played by the one and only Liam Neeson.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. Adam Driver and Liam Neeson. I mean, it's basically Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Sequel to Star Wars. I'm looking forward to it. I think the cast members are really good. Andrew Garfield has really shown his worth in recent movies, especially Hacksaw Ridge, which I just spent like an age talking about.
I've only ever
He's
seen him
doing
in
it.
Spider-Man.
I avoided those movies because like I was always a big fan of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I was like, why are they doing this?
What do you think about the third Spider-Man series coming?
Okay, that one. Oh, you mean Homecoming?
Yeah, Homecoming.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in it. Have you seen Winter Soldier?
I haven't seen Winters. Oh, you mean the one where he showed up?
Yeah,
Civil
yeah,
War?
yeah. Oh, sorry. Was it Civil War?
Yeah, Civil
Oh,
War is where
sorry. I
he
meant to
shows
say
up.
Civil War. Yeah. That's when he shows up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty good. I liked him in Civil War. I didn't like.
Yeah,
Civil
he was
War.
really good.
I didn't like Civil War that much in general, but.
Yeah, it's because you have a thing against Marvel
I have
movies.
a thing against superhero movies, Slicer. Let's get that clear, okay? So oversaturation of the market.
Okay.
But I do like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's pretty cool.
Wait, which one? The old one or the new one? Or the reboot?
No, I just like Spider-Man in general.
Oh. I see.
So yeah,
You don't care if it's Tobey Maguire or Garfield?
not particularly. Although I did like Tobey Maguire. Where is Tobey Maguire? Come back, Tobey. We missed
He
you.
just isn't he like going through drug withdrawal or
Is he?
whatever?
I don't think so. I think he's actually doing not too bad. He was recently in that movie about that chess player, which was interesting. I don't think it got too much buzz, but it was definitely an interesting role.
Yeah, he was really good in what's that one movie, The Great Gatsby?
No,
Yes.
I never watched
Yeah,
it.
he was Nick in the Gatsby.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he portrayed Nick really well.
Yep.
'Cause-
Gave up that subtle homosexual undertone.
okay.
Well, no, like in the original book, if you read it. Like,
Oh, you
You
can say
ever-
that about everything ever, man.
no, like literally, like the way he describes Gatsby is not how you describe a friend.
I mean, it's like in awe. Like that's the point. Gatsby was supposed to be like this superhuman figure.
but yet he was chasing after a shadow. This time.
Yeah, that's the
What
point.
a what a crazy story F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote.
Anyways, back onto the topic at hand. I'm just gonna close out by saying Silence is on everybody's radar basically, and we'll see where future developments, any more news comes out. But this is definitely one I'm definitely looking forward to. Oh, let's talk more about movies I'm looking forward to. So another thing recently came out. The poster for Ridley Scott's newest Alien movie, Alien Covenant, recently dropped a few days ago, and it looks fantastic.
It's just an alien.
Yeah, I know, but like I just love the simplicity of it. And what probably my favorite part about how it evokes the original poster's imagery with the alien egg, and I just think that's fabulous. And the tagline is fantastic too. Just run. This is definitely another movie I'm looking forward to. Although I don't know about how much looking forward to. I don't know too much about this movie besides the fact that Ridley Scott is back behind the helm for once. Which is probably my main pull. I am a huge fan of the original Alien movie. It is easily one of my favorite movies of all time. And to see what I assume Ridley Scott going back to the Alien roots with this movie really excites me for sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Alien movies, but my experience of the franchise, like the most, I guess, thematic scene is really the alien coming out of the shadows, I believe. And it's pretty much just that scene on the poster, right? Although-
Essentially.
Usually the alien doesn't have like drool, does it?
Well, I mean, with the newest movies, they might. I think I remember in the original movie, there was like, I don't know. I think the alien did drool a bit, but it wasn't like a focal point. Slicer,
Right.
you're a fan of the Alien series, right?
Yeah. What are you guys talking about?
Talk about Alien Covenant.
Yeah, I know that, but like, what are you guys like? What did you just say?
We were talking about the drool on the alien that we were noticing.
Oh yeah. The original aliens drooled a bit. I'd say, yeah, no, like there was plenty of drool. That was definitely one of the creep factors of the aliens, and I really want to say it was only the blood that was acidic, but it wouldn't surprise me if I rewatched it and like the parts where they drooled a bit start melting things.
Oh, I mean, I just love the design of the xenomorphs.
Yeah, H.R. Geiger, he is very definitely the right man to do that.
Fantastic.
No,
Design.
just like the right amount of Freudian.
True, the right amount of protein,
Just the right amount of Freudian
the right amount
to
of
like to
penile
suddenly blatantly imply a lot of rape and sex.
So, interesting thing about Alien Covenant, Ridley Scott has come out to say that this will be the first of three So, Alien Covenant itself is a direct sequel to Prometheus, and it will be the first of three prequels leading up to the original Alien movie. Now, I'm not sure how many movies they can actually stretch this into. I mean, we'll see how much.
Oh,
story
you'd
they
be
can make.
surprised. Where there is cash, there is a sequel.
Yeah, well, there's
Say.
yes, there's a sequel. You are correct, but we'll see where this one goes. Not much information about this movie yet, besides the fact that Ridley Scott is back.
Speaking of cash and prequels, am I right?
Oh my goodness, what a segue, ZX. What a fantastic segue. Yes, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. A spin-off of the Harry Potter franchise based on a textbook in the universe. Also based on I don't know if you guys have ever read it, but based on a short book. It's kind of tough to call it a book, but J.K. Rowling, many not
Called
many
Harry
a few
Potter?
years ago. Yeah, Harry Potter, yeah. She
Yeah,
wrote,
just a short book that no one cared about.
she wrote 2 books for Comic Relief. When I mean Comic Relief, I'm talking about the charity organization. She wrote Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and she also wrote The History of Quidditch. I believe that's what it's called.
Yeah, something like that.
I own both of them because I'm cool.
Yeah,
They're fun light reads. They're very light. They're very short books, but they're basically taking the text in the Harry Potter universe and making them into a real life book, and it's very fun to read if you're into the Harry Potter universe. But now we have an actual movie. I did not see this movie.
I did. Um, I've always been interested in like the idea of magical animals, especially since like when I was a kid, I had like an encyclopedia of like actual animals, and I read it all the time. So like this movie I think it has a very strong concept behind it, being that, but it's supposed to be like the first in a series, which is where it kind of gets iffy for me. And also, like magical animals are also pretty hard to pull off, and I don't think the movie does like a fantastic job of making them, but it does okay, a lot better than I thought it would be. Um, I like in the reviews, it was described as being more like fun and carefree compared to Harry Potter, which has a lot more darker themes. And at first, it seemed like this movie would explore some more darker themes than Harry Potter even did, but at the end, it kind of just like erased that idea, like erased it out of existence, which is weird. Like I think it was really good up until the point where they just got rid of the problem.
Um, it is definitely interesting. I do like the magical beasts. Like J.K. Rowling definitely made a fantastic world to explore in, and it's definitely a world ripe for exploration. Fantastic Beasts, I think, is a good direction in that foray into exploring. Well, in this case, Fantastic Beasts. We can also there's also things like magic politics and stuff like that, which leads me to my next point.
Magic politics.
Well, when I mean
It's
magic
literally
politics,
the same thing as normal politics, except that there's wands.
well, what I mean by magic politics, I mean the exploration of other magical societies. Because when we were reading J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, basically all we were realized was the United Kingdom and the British world of magic. With Fantastic Beasts, we come to America, but not just America, also Fantastic Pirate of what is it, the 1920s, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's the or yeah, it's the
Yeah,
1920s
it should be
because
1920s,
the
right?
Great War already happened. So
Prohibition.
So
prohibition.
not only is it a very cool time period, but we also see the American world of magic, which is a whole new world. I mean, okay, I didn't watch this movie, so I don't know, but I don't know. How did that feel to you?
Okay, so I think they did a good job of making like the American politics side, like they introduced it to you. But the thing is, it doesn't like you only hear about most of the stuff that I thought it would expand on more in like snippets. Like you hear about the American school in like just one line. It just tells you a little bit about it. And then you hear about what I thought the series was going to be about. You hear about like Grindelwald only once until the very end. And
I heard about Grindelwald being in this movie. I didn't know Grindelwald was gonna be about
okay,
like,
okay. So I really wasn't looking forward to this series. Like I thought it would just be like a cash cow kind of thing, but then like some stuff came out and it was pretty much determined that Grindelwald and Dumbledore's fight would be the end of this series, like the famous fight between both of them. So I was that like got me interested in it.
I guess it is interesting, but I just don't understand why. Why? Like
Why?
I thought it'd be interesting if like I know this is now a 4 movie series. I mean, okay,
Well, the thing that interested me about it was that it's not about Dumbledore. Like, it's about other people. So I thought it would like build up the world around it and then lead to the fight in like an interesting way. But this doesn't really expand on it.
I think
Like, it doesn't make
yeah,
me want to watch it any more than I did before I watched the
really,
movie, you know?
really.
Yeah.
Well, I
It
thought yeah.
I feel like it could have just been like a solo movie that like was like a that set up like the next series, you know?
See, I think that would be interesting. I think I would have preferred it. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Maybe this is all unfounded opinion. But I think it'd be interesting if Fantastic Beasts was just a solo, standalone film that it just explored a certain aspect of the wizarding world outside of Harry Potter. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, the whole Grindelwald Dumbledore story is also a cool storyline that can be, that can and should be explored. But like, I just want to see like, um, I just want to see the story of Newt Scamander. You know, he's a very
Yeah,
interesting
yeah.
figure itself.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like there were a lot of topics to address and it addressed all of them, but it didn't really like pique my interest in them that much. And also Newt Scamander was like a really good character, but it didn't feel like he did much in the movie. Like he caught his creatures, right? And the last event, which is actually like the only relevant thing to the series later on, he does it. All he does is pretty much catch the bad guy. So if like he's supposed to be this great guy, and you can tell because he has all these creatures and he takes care of them, and that's all really good and fantastic. But it doesn't really like have a story that's relevant to him. It's more like relevant to other people, I guess.
Okay. Well, and that's the reason where to find them. Out in theaters right now. If you're interested, check it out. I have no opinion. I don't know. Yeah, so you recommend it?
I mean, go and watch it if you want to watch the rest of the series. But I don't think
You wouldn't
it was
recommend
okay.
it as a standalone film?
It was okay. Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend it as a standalone film.
I don't know. We'll give it half a thumbs.
What?
Half thumb.
That doesn't fit in the scale.
I'm making my
I
I make
don't
my
even
own
know the
scale
scale.
slicer.
Ah, no. What kind
Why?
of heresy is this?
Why can you only use 2 thumbs at the very end? Like, why can't I give it half a thumbs and 1 big thumbs
Nope.
up? You know what I mean?
It's just too. It just gets too wonky when you half a thumb.
Oh come on, we can't be stricken by whole integer thumbs. We gotta have half thumbs.
Listen, kids. There are young viewers out there, and they're gonna be confused by half a thumb.
I'm pretty sure they can add the 2 slicer.
I don't think so. I don't have much faith.
Catering to the younger audience. I see where we are now, Slicer. I see where we are.
Listen, we hit rock bottom pretty early. In fact, one might say we started at rock bottom.
Well, let's
That
start
means
getting out of
there's
the rocks.
only one way to go up.
So, I want to bring up another thing, another talking point. Han Solo. We all know him. We all love him. But do we need a movie about him?
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't know.
I mean, Disney seems to think so.
Disney definitely seems to think so, for sure. But the Han Solo movie, the Han Solo movie, some might say, I am so apprehensive about this concept of this film. I mean, mainly because when I think Han Solo, I pretty much think Harrison Ford. And to think of a Han Solo movie that doesn't have Harrison Ford, I feel like that's just like making a Han Solo movie without Han Solo. It's just, I'm not sure about this movie. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think like part of the allure of Han Solo was that he was just like some random smuggler that was supposed to be super good and he was super cocky, and you didn't really know if that was true or not. So making a story about his backstory kind of ruins that, doesn't it?
I think it does. Yeah, there's definitely a kind of a mystery man aura about Han Solo. If we delve too much into it, just like, well, now we know everything about it. It's like when we find out about what are those things called in the prequels?
Midichlorians.
Midichlorians. It's like, well, he just ruined the Force.
Yeah. But that was even worse because it was like the mystical, magical, good force, and now it's just some little parasites in your cells.
Yeah, dude. Like, fuck this whole magic wabi-sabi crap.
Yeah, God bugs.
Parasites. Parasites, dude. It's always about parasites.
Now, there has been some recent news about the Han Solo movie, which is why I'm bringing it up. Kathleen Kennedy, producer at Lucasfilms, has come out to say that the Han Solo movie will be, quote-unquote, a Western movie. Which, I guess, I mean, it has to be, right? I mean,
Yep.
Space Western is an interesting genre. I'm kind of partial to it. I'm a big fan of the series Firefly, rest in peace. Cowboy Bebop is also a very popular series. I have not seen it itself, but I think you guys have.
You're a terrible person.
I don't watch anime. What am I supposed to do?
Just because they're Japanese doesn't mean it's bad.
Oh my god, that's not why.
Then why?
I just don't like the style.
I think anime is like, well, okay, I think like cartoons and like animated movies are something that needs to be explored more. I think anime is the only like actual scene that's pushing it past kids shows. Because you couldn't do like Akira if it wasn't a kid show. You couldn't do,
Oh my god.
you couldn't do a lot of stuff, or you couldn't do a lot. I mean, you couldn't do Akira if it wasn't an animated film, right? You
Yeah,
can't do a
it'd
lot
be
of stuff if
very,
it's not
very
animated.
hard.
The thing is, Akira is like super good. It's like amazing.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like if you try to make that as a live action film,
You can try.
It just
mean-
wouldn't be as good in that medium.
I mean, they are making a live action film of a certain anime, Ghost in the Shell.
It's true.
I don't know
It's,
how well that's gonna turn out.
I think it's more feasible with something like Ghost in the Shell as opposed to Akira.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think actually, well, like the first half of Akira you could pull off in live action. It's just that last
The last half.
that you just can't.
But even then, like the motorcycles and like the ruined world, they were just so much cooler, like animated. I think,
Oh yeah,
than if
like,
you
there's
actually
just,
made them.
yeah, like there's just so much going on. It's crazy as hell expensive to try and make. I don't think it would look as good as it did in the anime medium.
Yeah, and there's like it wasn't very realistic. Like at the beginning, where they were on their motorcycles and they had like the light trails following them, but it
Yeah.
looked super cool. Like there's a lot of thematic stuff that's not really realistic, but it still looks cool that you can do in anime too.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you guys something.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pull us back to the Han Solo movie before we move on, because like I really want to ask you guys this question: who do you think would be able to portray Han Solo the best? Like out of current actors available.
Okay. Well,
Who
you
is
just
that Han
put.
Solo?
You just
I don't
put
even.
Harrison Ford in like 30 layers of concealer.
I wouldn't be against that. I really wouldn't.
I mean, I don't
and then
even
we just
know.
chalk up to the look as saying he just, he smokes a lot. Yeah, that's it.
Like, I don't even know who you could cast because action movies these days don't really have like the Western feel to them, and there isn't really any other movie genre that you would really pull from to have like an exact Harrison Ford kind of guy.
Well, I've heard a lot of people thinking Chris Pratt could really pull it off. Chris Pratt, the new
Chris
golden
Pratt,
boy
interesting.
of Hollywood.
Yeah,
I could totally see Chris Pratt actually.
I
pulling it
think
off.
he would do at least an okay job.
yeah. He's kind of big though, isn't he?
He's got a
Uh,
very
well,
good
would
face.
fit.
He's slimmed down, but
I mean,
yeah,
he's, like,
he just has a
muscular now,
naturally
though.
stockier physique. But
Yeah, and that
I could
doesn't
see
fit
that.
Han Solo as much in my mind, at
you're
least.
right. Han Solo isn't very stocky,
Although,
he's very
although I
lean.
guess yeah, you're gonna have to do some. Gonna have to ignore some previous films and to really make that work.
Another name I'm gonna throw out there. Scott Eastwood, son of Clint Eastwood, was on the shortlist for Han Solo actors, like actual shortlist from Disney to portray him. He didn't make the cut.
Oh, really?
But I could see that happening as well. I haven't seen Scott act too much, so I can't tell about his acting career. But if he's anything like his father, I can totally see it coming. By the way, spitting image. I look pictures of Scott Eastwood. He looks so much like his father. It's ridiculous. He's got the mouth action. You know that Clint Eastwood lip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He definitely has the look, I think.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's Scott Eastwood.
Yeah, you see pictures of him.
Yeah, like first, secondly, holy shit! Yeah, like you just. Like he's got the cheekbones and everything. Like you aged this man like 50 years, and that is literally Clint Eastwood.
We got baby Clint.
Holy shit!
If you guys want some more official news, the short list of actors that I have here to portray Han Solo. So these actors were included Miles Teller, Dave Franco, and like I mentioned, Scott Eastwood. Now,
Really?
Lucasfilm.
Franco?
What? Who? Dave Franco? Yeah.
Really?
Dave Franco,
That-
Yeah. It might have been.
He's a contender.
It might have been that he auditioned or something. Maybe it was just that. But
I mean,
yeah.
a weak contender compared to the other people.
So what I've read though is that Lucasfilm has landed on an actor. It's not official yet, but I think it's actually gonna be him. They have landed on Alden Ehrenreich. Who?
Oh.
Who?
Okay. Who's that?
Well, I looked him up. He has starred in Francis Ford Coppola's Tetro, Woody Allen's Blue Jasmine, and Park Chan-woon's Stoker. All movies I have never seen.
True. Also, never seen.
It's hard to tell because he's not in any outfits that would remind me of Han Solo, I guess. But I think he would be okay.
well, the only time will tell.
Yeah, only time will tell.
Ooh, another cast member. I almost forgot to mention this. Another cast member recently announced to join the Han Solo movie. Amelia Clarke from Game of Thrones fame. She has recently recently joined the cast and crew for, well, just cast, I guess, for the upcoming Han Solo movie. Interesting. We'll see what the fuck she's doing in that movie. But I've heard some rumblings about her acting capabilities. I don't watch Game of Thrones personally, but I've heard a lot of people saying she's not that good.
Ah. Doesn't she not do nude scenes anymore?
I don't know. I think she went nude in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, but I think she like quit a while into the series.
Oh, and the cries of many fans
Probably.
across the world.
Has she done anything other than Game of Thrones?
She had Game of Thrones really launched her career, so she's been in a few movies, I think. I know she was in a recent movie where she's like a nurse to some handicapped dude. He's also handsome as fuck.
Sweet.
But is he as handsome as Scott Eastwood though?
I don't know. Scott Eastwood's got that Eastwood look going on.
Like holy shit! You're like I took a look at this guy and I'm like I actually almost thought he was
Is this like a wet dream
Chris
of yours?
Evans. Like I actually thought it was Chris Evans for a second there.
This is like your dream, Clint Eastwood, but
Not
your
my
age.
dream, but but you know that's a pretty darn good alternative. I tell you. Well, like, have you seen the man?
I saw.
Yeah.
Listen, if this movie can pull off the same feel of some of the more classic westerns, like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, like I love those kind of movies. Those western, though I'm partial to the western genre myself. If this movie can pull off that feeling, then it's probably gonna end up being pretty good. But for now, I'm hesitant. I really am. How about a Star Wars movie I'm not that hesitant about? Star Wars Rogue One. I have prepared some show notes here. My show notes for Rogue One looks cool.
Yeah.
I was okay when Disney rolled out its plan for Star Wars, the Force of Star Wars franchise, when they said they're going to alternate between main series and spin-offs, every other year. I was just like, oh my god, you're gonna kill the franchise, Disney. What are you doing? But Star Wars Episode 7 turned out to be really good. I like that a lot. And from everything I've seen from Star Wars Rogue One, it looks pretty freaking cool. Like, it's a whole new perspective. It's not following the Jedi. It's not following the Force. It's not following the Rebellion. Well, it is the Rebellion. What am I talking about?
It has nothing to do with Star Wars at all.
Nothing to do
It's
with
a
Star
movie
Wars. We're farming moisture. It's the entire movie.
Moisture farmers on Tatooine.
Of course.
Oh,
But
great.
it's looking at an aspect of the war. It's much more a micro view, if I say, because like when we think of Star Wars, it's kind of like a macro view of the whole war. We got the big force, we got the Empire, and then we got the Jedi, and not the Jedi. We got the Rebels, we got the Empire, and then we got the Jedi, and mixed in between, and stuff like that. But now we're going really deep into like the soldiers, the individual characters, and this group of rebels going to find the fucking plans to the Death Star. It's definitely a very cool story, and I'm looking forward to it. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. It's a really good way. Like, it's a really good way to call back to the original Star Wars more than the new movies have, in like an interesting way. Because this is. We don't really learn much about the Rebels ever, do we?
No. Rebels are really they're small characters. They're just kind of there. They're almost fodder, really, because we're so focused on the main character. We're so focused on Luke and Han and Leia. Never really get to know much about the whole rebellion itself. The small fries. Although these
Star
people are
Wars-
really small fries.
The original Star Wars is basically like Luke's daddy issues with the backdrop of a war.
Luke's daddy issues.
Yeah, like that's really what it was.
Floyd
Yeah, that
would
was the
Like
have-
the war was
point.
just going on around him. It wasn't particularly pivotal. It was just Luke wanting to settle his daddy issues.
Freud would have a field day. But no, that also
Yeah,
reminds me.
especially with Vader's helmet.
Yeah, I mean that reminds me though. This is oh god damn it, Slicer. Anyways, what I was gonna say is, well, what you said was right though. It's definitely another viewpoint which I'm also interested in. When we look at Star Wars really, it's called Star Wars, but it's not a war movie. It's a fucking space opera about mystical people with light swords. But Rogue One, Rogue One is really gonna focus on the war itself, and I'm kind of I mean I'm a fan of war films. It's not gonna be like a World War II movie, but it's really gonna focus on a much more grounded approach to the series. It's definitely something to look forward to. I think. I like me some war. War's bad, guys. Don't take that the wrong way.
He likes depictions of war.
Also, Vader's in this movie.
Against the Japanese.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, you can like have the original like X-wings and Y-wings or whatever, and all the ships and Vader. Like, it's a new way to actually make them relevant again. Because like people love the ships from Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
and they love Vader.
I love X-wings. X-wings, the design of X-wings is always really, really cool to me. And Vader back with James Earl Jones, of course. We couldn't have it any other way. This is definitely one I'm looking forward to. Probably gonna see it in theaters. Star Wars can never get enough, I think. Well, we'll see where Episode 8 comes along. We'll see how that.
Though I will say, there was one thing I didn't like from Star Wars. The design of the AT-AT walkers.
You don't like AT-ATs?
I don't, because fundamentally they don't make sense.
Okay, Mr. Physics here.
No, like not even like from a purely physical standpoint. I mean, like if you think about it, they're really crappily designed. Like, you've got those long legs that are easy as hell to trip, and then you've got your guns that are mounted at the top in the front on the head, a very slow turn.
You know what? I will admit the design of AT-ATs or AT-ATs are not really practical.
They're not even that intimidating looking. They just look futuristic, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of akin to maybe I'm totally off about this, but I think maybe what George Lucas was kind of doing was kind of akin to how the soldiers reacted to their first seeings of tanks in like the Great War, you know?
Oh yeah.
These giant lumbering behemoths, unstoppable almost, and you know it's just almost a weapon of fear, really, by the Empire.
I mean, do we know how deep the snow on that planet was? Like, if you think about it, maybe you couldn't have like tank-sized things on that planet because they would just sink into the snow.
Yeah, but I mean, in that world, why bother having legs at all if you can?
Because you'll sink into the snow, man.
Well, then just increase your
that's a good
surface area. That's why that's why you wear like those tennis rackets in deep snow, is to increase your surface area so you don't just sink right in.
Could you do that with like a tank though?
Why not? Just make it really flat. Really big,
huge,
really
right?
flat.
So I'm gonna send a memo to Lucasfilms. Put
Thank
tennis
you.
shoes on
By the way,
AT-ATs.
Korean is actually an intern.
Yes, I am. Obviously, I am deeply involved with all movies Star Wars. And
Yeah, that's
I'm
what we're
also
talking about.
Take a cut for all ticket prices, so please everybody go watch Star Wars. I need money.
Shouldn't you like
Yeah.
be trying to actually get money from that? Like, send me ideas with $1 and I'll look at them.
Oh yeah.
Instead of saying go buy Star Wars tickets.
Oh no, that's a better idea. I mean, what by better idea? I mean that's what I meant. Please, everybody, send me your scripts for Star Wars idea. I will fast track them to Lucasfilms. Only $50 a script.
Yeah, as we all know, Lucasfilms is totally interested in learning all about your fan fiction. And how Darth Vader actually had a secret son.
Have you read my
It
fanfiction
was-
for Star Wars?
What?
Nothing.
A
I'm
secret
kidding.
son
I'm kidding.
of an Asian whore creating Korea.
Oh,
Space Kyle.
This is gonna be the bestseller, New York Times bestseller already. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I want to say one more thing about this. It's not directly related to Star Wars Rogue One, but this sucks. I forgot this guy's name. He is. If you look at the poster, he's in the bottom right. He's got that backpack thing on with the goggles. I fucking forgot his name. I feel so bad about this. But he has become one of my favorite up and coming actors in recent years. He was in.
And you forgot his name.
I'm sorry. I'll put it in post or something. I'll flash it in like when I edit this. But he's fantastic. He was in Nightcrawler. Have you guys seen Nightcrawler?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, he's that guy?
Yeah, he's that guy. Yeah, he was the Jake Gyllenhaal's assistant.
Oh.
He was also recently in HBO's The Night Of. If you guys have HBO, if anybody has HBO, I highly recommend watching it. It is a miniseries that explores the prison system and how it can exploit and corrupt individuals. But he's in that. He stars in that. Kills it. Absolutely knocks it out of the park. This guy's been great. He's been doing great in everything he's been in, and I'm very looking forward to his showing in Rogue One. And keep an eye on him, folks. All right, let's round off our discussion, or near round off our discussion with the discussions. Let's talk about box office. So Moana came out, and it has crushed it. It has topped the box office, top Thanksgiving Day, and it is leading up towards an $85 million opening. Fucking Disney is killing it.
Dang, son.
Honestly, between their own personal movies, Pixar, Marvel movies, and the Lucasfilm Star Wars franchise, they're making bank.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. You guys have you guys seen Moana?
I haven't. I've seen the trailer for it.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
I have not seen it either as well, but it definitely looks very good. I have honestly never been too much of a fan of Disney's 3D animated movies, but lately they've been doing pretty well. What was the most recent one that they did?
Moana.
Zootopia, right? Zootopia. Oh, it says it on the poster. Ah, thank you, Slicer. You're very informative.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
Zootopia was well received. Frozen was also well received and made a shit ton. Honestly, it seems like Disney can do no wrong at this point.
At this point, I don't know. You know, well, probably for a while.
I mean, they've done a really good job of picking up a popular series and actually making good movies with them.
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
Because what was that film they made back in the day? It was like around the time their golden age of animation was dying out. The Black Cauldron.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what was not a good movie? The Good Dinosaur.
I did not see. I watched most Pixar movies, but I did not go see that movie.
Yeah, I don't think it was
okay.
worth going to.
Well, it definitely was not their best, and I can see why they pushed it off.
You
but
guys saw that? You guys saw that movie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I did.
it.
I just hated the design of the dinosaurs, especially compared to the more realistic backdrops. I just thought they
It
looked
just-
so goofy.
Like, it had elements of a Pixar movie, but there were parts that definitely felt like a kids animated movie that wasn't Pixar, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Are you talking about that berry scene?
Yeah, the berry scene, like, Disney has done not overdoses. They have done like Being High before, like Dumbo, but it didn't felt like a good depiction of it. I guess it felt very generic.
Yeah. Oh, someone joined.
Mute him.
Hello.
Is someone in our Discord?
Yeah,
The
Reagan.
real Ronald Reagan.
Okay. Well,
He's risen from his grave to talk about the good dinosaur.
well, luckily we're coming to an end of our discussion.
Oh, is this the Pops cast?
So about the good dinosaur, though, yeah, I see what Ziox is saying. I do think that there are the elements of the standard Pixar quality movie there. It just wasn't quite as well arranged. We had hoped.
Is Pixar working on what's Pixar's next project? Cars, right? It's Cars.
Cars 3. Oh, and The Incredibles 2 also, right?
Yes,
forward to
yes.
Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2 and Cars 3 are coming up,
Should we introduce?
and Rogue One.
No,
already did.
Reagan's just going to be the mystery guest.
Our
It's a
mystery
ghost.
guest.
It's a ghost. It's a ghost.
The
guys.
real Ronald Reagan.
Did it?
Like the ghost of Ronald Reagan has contacted us to talk about movies. That's all you really need to know about this guy.
Are we gonna talk about movies that are up and coming now?
We can move on to that unless you guys want to talk about Cars at all. I mean, there's only been like
Well,
a
I
30-second
mean,
snippet.
Like the original Cars, or
No, we don't have to talk about it. You know what? I will say something about original Cars. I think it gets a bad rap. I think it's very underrated. I like
I
Cars.
think
They
it
have
didn't
some-
deserve to have a sequel, though.
No.
Yeah.
Like that Cars 2 with the espionage and then the offshoot movie about that crop duster. I don't know if we needed all that.
Yeah, but
Oh,
see,
you mean planes?
yeah, that was a Disney film. To be in all fairness, that was not Pixar.
Because if planes are also sentient, that has some nasty implications.
I mean, listen, Cars makes money
Ugh.
for some reason. Like it makes bank.
it's just like a good TV, or I mean, a kids franchise,
Yeah,
and you
like
can actually
it
have
makes sense for kids to watch it. And
like toys, more toys with cars.
I don't know if you've already discussed this, but what do you think about milk?
You cut out.
There- I said, what do you think about milking movies until there are just no milk left?
oh well, I mean, like I think do it well, and it really expands the whole universe behind the movie. But I also think that most of the time that movies or people do that don't do a series good.
We have touched on it a couple of times, though. I mean, very lightly. We haven't really gone into an in-depth
Yeah.
discussion about it. We talked about that with the Fantastic Beasts series, stretching that out over 4 movies. That sounds iffy to me. I mentioned it with Star Wars. Every year coming out a movie kind of worries me too. I'm definitely an advocate, or should I say, I'm definitely against trying to milk franchises. I know what makes money. Hollywood is a company itself, well, not company, but it's there to make money. But I really hate it when these executives take a franchise and just stretch it for as long as possible to make bank.
Yeah. I mean, I think like Harry Potter was such a good franchise that Fantastic Beasts being okay is still okay.
Looking at you, Marvel.
Marvel is definitely okay.
Marvel, to be fair, by virtue of being based off comic books.
Nah, I got beef on Marvel. I don't like what they've done.
Why not?
I just feel like I'm just so wary about that. Like they've turned out so many movies. I'm just sick of superheroes. I'm sick of
Right.
it.
But I think
Yeah.
as like a franchise, it's okay. Like they've done a good job of introducing characters.
Here's
Like-
another thing though about Marvel that I don't like. They're so safe. Every Marvel movie is
Yeah,
almost
but
the same.
they're a kids movie.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
They're kids movies.
It's a formula, you know. It's
Yeah,
it's mostly for kids.
I'm not a fan of
It-
formulaic movies. I like my movies to
Or
surprise
really,
me. I want my
or I
movies
guess
to-
really the nostalgic people who grew up with those comics. I mean, really, they do follow the fairly they do follow a formula. And I gotta say, some of the attempts at Marvel's for Marvel's recent attempts at breaking the mold, like like making Captain America secretly a Hydra agent all this time.
Oh my god, I hated fucking.
You see what happens. It just gets it's just a terrible plot twist. That's not even a plot twist. That's just a lie that
Did
they
you-
call a plot
Did you
twist.
guys like Winter Soldier?
You know?
It was okay.
I heard so many good things about Winter Soldier, and I went to go see it, and I thought the whole Hydra subplot was ridiculous. You mean not entire thing, but you mean Shield was Hydra
All
all
along.
along? Like, are you kidding me? I'm not buying this. Whatever. Listen, you know what? The bottom line for me is that Marvel bores me. Okay, I'm tired of it, and I'm getting nothing new out of these movies.
How
Yeah.
do you feel about DC movies?
I don't know. I kind of superheroes. I just kind of go overarching to DC too.
Are you Batman?
Batman.
I don't really like the DC movies that I've seen, but I haven't watched that many Marvel movies, and I think the ones that I have watched have been good enough to like actually pique my interest in certain movies, but not the entire like set of movies. Like I haven't seen any of the Iron Man movies, and I haven't seen any outside of
Oh, you haven't
Winter
seen the Iron
Soldier.
Mans?
Yeah, I haven't seen Iron Man. And I haven't seen outside of Winter Soldier. I haven't seen any of the Captain American movies. I've seen like the Avengers movies, and then I've seen like Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, and some other ones.
I like Iron Man mainly because RDJ was very compelling as what's his guy's name? What's Iron Man's name? What's the character's name?
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
Tony
I think
Stark.
he's very
Tony
compelling as Tony Stark. I mean,
Eddard Stark.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
honestly, Robert Downey Jr. is so iconic. Tony
Yeah.
Stark. I actually can't even remember what.
I think he's
Iron Man
more
was like in the comic
iconic as
before
Tony
him.
Stark than George Clooney is as Batman.
oh my god.
Oh,
But I mean, I also liked Iron Man itself for its story. I think its story, for all things considered, was actually pretty good too. Exploration of Iron Man, Tony Stark being kidnapped by these insurgents troops, and then creating his suit to fight for justice or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
all right.
It's interesting.
I think another thing is like I like Doctor Strange enough that when I saw the ending sequence where it pretty much hinted that the next Thor movie is going to have Doctor Strange as a main character in it, it made me want to see Thor, even though I haven't seen any of the other Thor movies.
You know what? I will say, Marvel is doing a fantastic job with linking all these movies together into one cinematic universe. I do like the idea of kind of like the idea of a cinematic universe, kind of. It's interesting, very cool. It's a very interesting way to incorporate different characters into different movies for sure.
It leaves a lot of restrictions on what they can do, though.
Does it?
Yeah,
Does it?
I mean,
Yeah,
because
because
it affects the entire world, right? But I don't think it's that bad. Because either they're really small heroes like Ant-Man, which don't really affect the world entirely, or they're really big like the Avengers, and like you hear about the Avengers like first war or whatever all the time, and the other ones is like hints. Or it's like Guardian of the Galaxy, where it doesn't even matter. They could like blow up an entire galaxy and you wouldn't care because it's not even near Earth. Then Doctor Strange is another cool idea in that it's like threatens Earth, but not in the same way that the Avengers would even know about it.
Well, I'm marveled out. I think that's I think that's a good place to start ending our discussion. Let's round off our discussion with movies where some upcoming movies that we're looking forward to. You guys have anything coming up that you're excited about?
Power Rangers. Probably not really.
the B
Spider-Man
movie.
Homecoming. I want to see Spider-Man Homecoming because I think it will be interesting how they play that character since he's already been introduced, right, in Civil War.
Yeah, I liked his introduction to Civil War.
What do you guys think of Kong? Like,
Oh, Kong. I'm interested. I think it's interesting.
Which movie?
King Kong Skull Island. I think it's just called Kong though. It's called Kong Skull Island.
yeah, it's cool.
Didn't they do
Kong.
one? Didn't they do a King Kong with Jack Black?
That was the Peter Jackson movie. Listen, I've said this a couple times. I think the Slicer. I don't think you guys. Listen, the Peter Jackson film has been critically lauded when it was released. Like people really liked it. But when I watched it, and I was a bit younger when I watched it, I hated that movie. I thought that was way too fucking long.
Were you scared?
No, I wasn't scared. I was bored out of my goddamn mind.
Oh, I was absolutely scared.
Although actually the natives kind of freaked me out.
A lot of people were scared of the like bug scene where they fall into the cavern. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
man,
hell
it's been
yeah,
such a
dude.
long time ago since I seen that movie.
Oh, the
Yeah.
ecology there, pretty darn interesting.
Yeah, I really
was
like the
scared of
idea.
Everything as a kid, like I couldn't even play Nazi zombies and Call of Duty until I was in high school because I was freaked out.
Oh, you know, a lot of the insect designs in King Kong actually aren't that far off from their real life counterparts. Like those giant crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, the just a blown up Weta.
Kong is also interesting in that they're also setting up a monster universe. Oh my god, everything has to be universe now, doesn't it?
Yep.
I mean, are they gonna go further than King Kong and Godzilla?
I'm not sure because the next movie in the works is Kong versus Godzilla, after Kong.
Yeah.
So I'm really not sure where they're going with that. It'll be interesting if this movie is anything like the Godzilla movie that came out recently, not the Japanese one, the American one, which has its downsides. I will say the Godzilla movie had its cons, but overall I thought it was a very good movie. If Kong is anything like that, I think it'll be worth going to see.
I
Yeah,
mean
we're
that
going to see.
Godzilla movie had other monsters in it, right?
The Mutos.
Yeah.
Like the Mothra things, or they weren't Mothra, were they? They were just
No,
some
they were
some
like
lovers.
Yep.
Lovers. Technically, yes.
No, they were.
Maybe the next movie after this will be like tag team King Kong and Godzilla versus whatever comes up.
Well, they did, you know, the Toho Kingdoms, right? The company that does like all the Godzilla movies. They did do Godzilla versus King Kong back in Showa.
Yeah, now it's
Era?
now it's King Kong versus Godzilla 2, Electric Boogaloo.
They just switched up who goes first. It was Godzilla versus King Kong. Now it's King Kong versus Godzilla.
This is how
It's
we
whoever
do it,
wins
baby.
the last one.
It's Hollywood. What about you, Slicer? Any movies coming up that you're looking forward to?
You got me excited about Ghost in the Shell. I'm very curious to see how they're going to do that as a live action film.
I think people are kind of a little too negative about Scarlett Johansson being in this movie. I mean, I don't know anything about anime for the most part. I haven't seen Ghost in the Shell. I know nothing about Ghost in the Shell. But I kind of like Scarlett Johansson. I'm sure she'll do fine. Also, I'm really digging the new look for her with the short black hair.
Yeah, Korean has a thing for women that remind him of
Asians.
Asians.
I have a thing for woman.
For a woman. One woman. He has a thing for one woman.
One
That's
woman.
it. The moment Scarlett Johansson goes off the market, that's it for his love life.
But you, our newest contender or not contender? I don't know. Who the fuck are you, Reagan?
Avenger.
He's Ronald Reagan.
Ronald
I don't
Reagan,
know how more
former
obvious
U.S.
he could-
president. What about you? Are you looking forward to any movies coming up?
Rogue 2.
Good one,
I
man.
don't know why I can't for anything.
No, but I haven't really seen, even Rogue One hasn't really sparked an interest. I mean, yeah, I'll see it at some point, but I don't know. I'm still a little off. I don't know what I'm saying. Off the idea that there's gonna be spin-offs that aren't directly part of a trilogy. I don't know.
You should have been here for a Star Wars discussion. You had a whole spiel about that, or maybe it was just me.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. I just think that it's gonna be interesting, and I'm not gonna discount it before it happens. Of course, I don't like to, immediately assume that everything's gonna suck. I'm not one of those people, but I don't know. I just think it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Little salty they don't have an Admiral Akbar spinoff, but we'll work on that.
Ben Kenobi spinoff in the desert.
I would like to see a Kenobi movie. I think that'd be
I'm
cool.
like,
I love that. Obi-Wan is one of my favorite movie characters of all
so
time.
long as they get what's his name, guy in Trainspotting.
Alec Guinness.
No, he's dead.
Well, I'm dead too, but you see me here.
Liam Neeson.
No. Who's the guy that played Obi-Wan in the prequels? He's in Trainspotting.
Well, would they do Obi-Wan
Are you talking
Kenobi as like in between trilogies, or would they do him?
You would have to do in between trilogies, I think, because if it's just before prequel, it would just be him as a Padawan, right?
Yeah, you have. I think you have to do. Well, he wasn't a Padawan at the beginning. He was a knight, I think. But
No,
I
he was a
think it would be
Padawan. He was a
really-
Padawan. In
Okay.
Era.
Since they erased like all the in between that we knew about the prequels and the sequels, I think it would be interesting to explore his his version of the downfall of the Emperor and like the post experience.
Who knows what crazy old Ben was up to in the desert?
Actually, I know one that's in the
Ian
Legends
McGregor.
because I read a book all about him.
Ewan McGregor, right? Correct. Yeah. I mean, as long as he's coming back, I think that would be a solid. I think he was like the shining point of the prequel movies. Ewan
Yeah,
McGregor.
yeah. Liam Neeson did Qui-Gon Jinn.
Mm-hmm. Well, as for me, besides previously talked about movies like Alien Covenant and Silence, I am very much looking forward to La La Land. So this
To
is
what?
a upcoming musical film coming out, directed by the same director that did Whiplash. I can't for the life of me remember his name. It stars Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. So Emma Stone plays an aspiring actress, and Ryan Gosling plays a jazz pianist. And it just looks gorgeous. The
What's it
colors,
called?
It's called La La Land.
La La Land.
The colors pop. The music sounds amazing. And it's just like it's something Hollywood just doesn't do anymore. And I applaud him for making a movie like this. Like this evokes such classic feelings of classic Hollywood, the musical era of when there was a lot of really good musicals coming out. Stuff like Singing in the Rain and what's that? West Side? Yeah, stuff like that. West Side Story. So this is definitely something I'm really looking forward to. It's got kind of like that old Hollywood style, but with modern feel to it. And I also really like the main actors, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. I think they're very fantastic, and this is definitely one I'm very looking forward to. And I would recommend other people watch it too. I mean, I don't know,
What do you-
maybe it's trash, but it doesn't look that like that.
What do you think about the Assassin's Creed film?
Don't care. All right, well, I'd like to thank everyone to anyone who's watching this, thank you for joining us talk about movies, and hope to see you at the theater sometime soon. Bye.